1261. This beautiful evening is being themed, count your blessings, not your troubles. Here in Toastmasters, we have three simple rules. So we have to count them down. The first rule is kindly switch off your mobile phones or kindly put them in silent. The second rule is kindly avoid using this middle eye. Third rule, avoid talking on topics of sex, religion, and politics. We can count our years. We can count our lives with our smiles and not tears. But I believe in life, the greatest blessing we can offer is our family. The teachings and the cherishing moments that family offers to us. We can just forget all our troubles. To take this very momentous evening to the next level, we have a gentleman with us. He also believes that we can march forward into this new month, leaving aside our problems, pains, and troubles, and march into this new life, cherishing each moment of our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming on stage our president, Mr. Okinawa Japan.
Thank you, Toastmaster. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you all to this wonderful meeting, that is meeting number 1262 at Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I declare the meeting number 1262 open. Now I request the Secretary, Toastmaster Kamlesh, to read out the minutes of the last meeting.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I would like to give the highlight of the last meeting. Last meeting has started exactly on time, and we celebrated Women's Day by participation of the women of our club. And total participation was 39 members engaged together. And best speaker of the evening was the Toastmaster Teresa. Best tag team player was Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza and Sri. And best evaluator of the evening was Toastmaster Simran. And best table topic speaker, none other than the new joining Toastmaster Suma. Thank you, and over to the president.
Members, any amendments to the minutes, right?
I have one.
Yes.
So there was no voting category announced. Later I just saw a picture that
Yeah, there was miscommunication actually. Yes.
and you mentioned about the topic of leaders, so I thought I just.
Yeah, because after that he announced the pictures.
Oh, is it likely?
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
We sent in the
Yeah.
group itself.
Thanks, Varsha, for that. Okay. With that note, I declare the meeting number 1, the minutes of the last meeting passed. We have a few wonderful guests in our meeting today. I request the guests to stand up and give 1 or 2 lines about your introduction. Your name, what you do, and if you're a member, please from this club. If you're a guest, where you work. Yes. Can I start with that? Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen. It's my 3rd week here, and I'm a full-time stock trader, as most of you.
Thank you, Chetan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aditya. The first day here. I'm a full-time student at the university and also a stock.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, all. My name is Aditya Kumar, and I am a sales professional, and this is my meeting.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you all to give a good round of applause for all our beautiful guests. If you require any information with regards to the club or joining communities, I request you all to get in touch with the Vice President membership, Hannah Victoria, Toastmaster Hannah Victoria. It is impossible to live without fail at something unless we live so cautiously that we might not have lived at all, in which case we fail by default. What a fantastic line by J.K. Rowling. Every day when you look around, We people suffering in different way. Many people will. One of the problems I come across a few years back. I was on my way to office and it was running late. And my wife told me, just why don't you pack breakfast? I carried, and I was able to grab the chapati roll, whatever it is packed. And there were two small little boys came running to my car and they just started knocking my car windows, window pane. I got irritated and I just grabbed some coins from the wallet and I just stretched my hand to give to them. And they were just pointing to my snack box. Without thinking anything, I just took my entire snack plastic bag what I had and gave those kids. And they just started running and sat towards the pavement and sat on the pavement and started eating. You should see the joy and happiness in their face. And I felt as if I had my breakfast. I felt as if I had my brunch in fact. I started driving and I started introspecting and retrospecting. I realized whatever the problems I have that is in front of them, it is nothing. And this particular incident provided me a little space for me to think, to start living every day without worrying about the problems. Everybody will have problems, but if you look at other person's problems, ours is nothing. Let's count our blessings, not the problems. Problems are there. We are there to face the problems, to face the adversities. Even in Toastmasters, for example, if you look 15, 20 years back, and many of us wouldn't have known that there is a platform called Toastmaster exists for the development of our interpersonal skills or speaking skills. Now it's very handy. Google, the networking, it's very easy to get into Toastmasters. Especially for the guest, if you want to improve on your communication skills, if you want to scale up in your professional career or in your personal growth, this is the platform. I can say with a gutsy feeling that this is the panacea for all your solutions. Now to take the meeting further, we have a gentleman amongst us. He's been with the Bangalore Toastmaster Club for the last 4.5 years. He's an entrepreneur, he's having a media and distribution company. And he's a very calm and composed guy. Whatever the support I'll ask for him, he's ready to help. That's what I like about him. And his passions include trekking, traveling, and camping. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, let me introduce the MC, the Toastmaster this evening, Toastmaster Vinay Venkatraman.
President, I actually had a question for you too. Any guesses where I woke up this morning? Not in Bangalore for sure. Any guesses? Exactly. In your own region, the Okinawa land, I woke up in a camp called Balya Bane campsite at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And the blessing is that I'm here today. No, it was not the road. There is a news out there saying that there is a man-eater on the prowl in Madikeri district. And the host of the campsite told me to be very careful and not to venture out of that area. And he will not be responsible if something goes wrong. What a blessing that I'm here amongst you guys. Thank God for that. apart from that blessing, I would say you all should count the blessing that we live in today in terms of information and technology. Today, the technology is not at our fingertips. It is at the tip of our tongue. Alexa, Cortana, Siri, and whatnot. You tell them anything, they will do it as long as it's in the realm of the digital, of course. Access to so many things at the tip of your tongue, as I said earlier. And not only that, being in Toastmaster and having a club like Toastmaster International or an organization like this itself is a blessing. Ralph C. Smedley founded this great club in Santa Ana, California on 22nd October 1924. And today we have close to 16,200 clubs and counting. Is to improve communication skills, public speaking skills with leadership skills, all put together. And we are really thankful, and it is a blessing that we should always thank ourselves for. And thank Ralph Smedley. A typical Toastmasters meeting will have 3 sections. The first one will be the prepared speech section. The second will be the table topics. The third will be the evaluation session. I would be introducing the table topics masters later on in the meeting. But for starters, I would like to introduce the General Evaluator of the day. And he will be in turn introducing his team that will be assisting him in this meeting today. This person is a multifaceted person. His introduction was so long that I couldn't remember half of what he had said. It was just mind blowing. He had already traveled to 35 countries and counting. He says it has opened his perspective on life a lot. Apart from being a regular dad, he is also a dad in Toastmasters in terms of Director of Division A. That's what he mentioned. And the best part about him I like is he is also a singer and a guitarist. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Toastmaster Melvin Smith.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinay, for that lovely introduction. Today, I'm very happy to be with G at meeting 1262. It's such a happy moment to see people in person and just on that screen. Sometimes they miss me. My job as a general evaluator is to look at the complete meeting in all its entirety and see areas that we can improve and let people know areas that they have gone wrong, or with my experience, give some suggestions how we could do better. I have a team that's known as a tag team, tag L, timer, R counter, grammarian, and listener. And they will introduce themselves, their names, and their jobs, starting with the timer.
Yeah, moving on, I'm George. I work as a materials engineering in one of the company called EFS. So today I'll be the timer. So to make sure we start and make sure, more importantly, we land on time. So for the prepared speeches, we have for the first speech, we have 4 to 6 minutes. So on the 4th minute, I will flash the card of green, and for the 5th minute, I flash the card of yellow, and for the 6th minute, I flash the card of red. And for the other 2 speeches, the time varies from 5 to 7. So I'll flash the card of green card, and for 6th minute, I will flash yellow card, and for the 7th, red card. For the table topics, the time duration is 1 minute 30 seconds. So I'll start the flashing card of green at 1 minute, and 1 minute 15 seconds, I'll flash yellow card, and at the end of 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll flash the red card. At the end of the meeting, when general evaluation calls for, I'll submit the report. Thank you.
A counter. Let's do give a round of applause.
Good evening, Dad, Toastmasters, and my dear guests. Time and again, we've been talking about various pollutions affecting our environment. We have pollution in our communication too, in form of crutch words, such as short pauses and long pauses. So from the Pollution Control Board, I'll be making a note of anything that's polluting your communication. Caution, I will come back to present my report when called upon to do so.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause. Job for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Puneet. I'm doing this grammarian work role for the first time in the offline meeting. I've done once online. Thanks to Sridhi, you made me the first time itself to take this role. Yeah, today's word, benediction, short invocation of divine help. In sentence, it can be used as the convention concluded, a revivalist preacher conducted a benediction. I'll be looking at proper usage of this word in sentence. I would also make a note of any incorrect usage. Thank you.
Thank you. Give a round of applause.
Hello, good evening, all the Toastmasters. Today I will be playing the role of a listener, and physically I will be sitting here. Having said that, I will be presenting each one of you because all of us have come here to listen to the effective speeches from our speakers. One additional thing that I am going to do at the end of the meeting is to ask a few questions to understand how effectively all of us have listened to the speeches. Thank you.
After this evaluation section, we will see how this all pans out. It's now back to the Toastmaster.
Without wasting any time, let's get started with the first session of the meeting, that is the prepared speeches. And the first speaker is going to be attending his icebreaker from the Pathways Presentation Mastery. And I would request his evaluator to please read out the guidelines.
Good evening, everyone. The Toastmaster is attempting his icebreaker. The purpose of the speech is to introduce himself to the club.
Thank you.
Other speaker.
This speaker works as a sector head for an American company for brewing and beverage department and says very humbly that the blessing he is thankful for is the blessing of his mother. At first glance, when you look at him, he looks like a very short-tempered person and he might snap anytime at you. But once he opens his mouth, you're going to get a stomachache laughing. I mean to say it in a good way because his speeches I've found so far as one of the best humorous speeches. And when requested for his title of the speech, he said, "Useless guy." Useless guy, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan.
It's been a year since I hit the stage, absolutely delighted. I'm feeling on top of the world for being a part of this wonderful club on a glorious Friday evening. Life stories are always beautiful, and same is the case with mine as well. So you will listen to my life stories today, or some incidences which I'm going to talk about. And very coolly, I can say that this is one of the lives that you can never think of that because my life is a classic example of how not to lead a life. Right? So let me take you through my life journey in terms of certain incidences which happened over the past many years. I was born in a very small town called Mailadurai, which is called as the granary of Tamil Nadu. The way Bangalore is being called as the garden city of Karnataka without trees. So Mailadurai is also called as the granary of Tamil Nadu without any green or without any cultivation of paddy. I was born in that small town. When I was 3 years of age, I was diagnosed with primary complex. Primary complex means in kids it is called as a tuberculosis, and kids used to be called as primary complex. So I had a very terrible childhood, so I'm not going to talk in detail about that. So every day in the evening, I used to suffer from severe fever, severe cough, severe headache, and then, since the medical facilities were not so great, it took quite a bit of time, close to 8-10 years, for me to completely get out of the track. So by the time I was 10 or 11, I had almost completed my early part of my childhood without having anything positive to talk about, because neither in terms of education, nor in terms of my play, nothing worthwhile happened. But when I felt hale and healthy, when I was around 10 or 11, I wanted to compensate for the time that I had lost. So the one and only thing that I did was play, and play, nothing else. As a result, my education took a backseat. Absolutely poor in studies. So any time, any exam, I will be in the bottom 5. So somehow it carried through, and I, straight through my class and exams. And then since everyone joined physics, chemistry, and mathematics and biology, I too joined class 11, choosing those subjects. 2 years of hell. Nothing went into my head when it comes to mathematics. 2 years, horrible years. Somehow again, I scraped through, just barely trying, got a pass, and no ambition, didn't know what to do next, absolutely playful. Even just before my Tamil first paper exams, I still remember I played cricket. I being a opener, I used to play cricket. So I got hit in my thumb, and I was quite cool. The next day was my Tamil exam, and most of the students will be preparing for exams, but I was playing cricket. So that's how my life went, without any ambition. Everybody joined the government arts college in my native. I too joined. There were 2 options. One is to choose BA, which was easily, you can get into BA course easily. And the second one was BSc. Engineering was out of my reach. Medicine, no way, not even in my dreams. So everyone said, BA, you will never get into an employment. So the one and only option for you to choose a course above BSc, where you can land at least some job when you finish. So chemistry. So I too took chemistry. First year, hell again. I don't know why I chose, but somehow I managed to straight through. In the second year, something radical happened. He changed the entire perception of chemistry to me. And then second and third year, slowly I started developing interest in the subject which I hate the most, that's chemistry. But in the third year, I was able to visualize certain equations. I was able to understand the equations. And everybody said, we all will join MSc. So I too joined MSc without having any ambition. Went to post-graduation, Chennai. Because in my native, MSc was not there. So I had to move to Chennai. For the first time, I went to Chennai. Chennai was mind-boggling that time. So it overwhelmed me. In fact, the classes were different. Professors were teaching in English, which was a subject which I read only in my school. That too, one paper. Everything else was in Tamil. But when I moved to Chennai in MSc, everything was, even chemistry was taught in English. So very, very difficult for me to understand the concept. Somehow I managed to scrape through my post-graduation. So again, no ambition, absolutely clueless, no idea about what I wanted to do. And everybody said, you have 2 options. One, right gate, get on to PhD, or get into the corporate sector. I was in a dilemma. I chose both. I wrote gate and fortunately cleared. And I had an opportunity to pursue PhD. And at the same time, I was getting an opportunity to work for MRF as a technical executive. I joined the corporate line. Again, everybody said, PhD can come in later. But if you miss this opportunity to get into MRF, very difficult to get in again, because guys. So I went into MRF. Then, which I loved, well, I always wanted to see this beautiful city of Bangalore, Mysore. But unfortunately, I got an opportunity to be employed here in Bangalore. And then I moved a couple of companies like Axonable and then BASF. Now I am employed with a company called IOC as sector head, responsible for the beverage and brewing business for South Asia. And coming back to my parents, they are still with me. And I have a sister, she is married and happily settled in Chennai. And I am one of the oldest bachelors in Bangalore. And if I look back at what I had done, I could very clearly visualize there are two different kinds of personalities. One is an extremely ambitious personality who knows what needs to be done, very clearly defined goals, follow the dreams and hit the goal, doesn't care about anything. Take one day at a time. And let's enjoy what exactly happens today. And let's not think too much. And see what exactly happens the next hour. I belong to the second category. Right? Even now, because of sheer luck and not much of effort had gone in from my end for sure, but luckily and then by sheer providence, I reached where I am. But one thing I have really put in some effort is to become a speaker. That's why I joined Toastmasters. Two things happened. One is I was able to improve my communication in terms of my English as a speaking skill, because which is not my native language, because this is not something that I've read in my school or in college. So I had to practice here, which I have done. The only hard work that Vaidya has ever done is to become a better public speaker. Otherwise, it's all one day at a time. So one and only reason that I can talk and tell each and every one of you from my life that if you want to take some leaf is never take path number 2. Have a very clearly defined goal and try chasing it. Then only you can be successful. Otherwise, you will chase a day at a time the way I'm chasing now. Over to you.
That was a wonderful icebreaker speech by the Nathan. And I learned two things. One is, one does not have to be a ranker or a hard-working student to rise up the ranks another day. Your life example, and that's an inspiration. And two is that you are bachelor and it's not fair. Ladies, one second speaker, pathways of presentation mastery, and I would request his evaluator to please read out the guidelines.
Mr. General Evaluator for the Toastmasters, good evening to you all.
Good evening.
The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized speech on any topic. Time, please note the time allotted 5 to 7 minutes. Issue on the guest speaker.
This speaker has visited close to 20 countries, slightly below what our so we'll catch up soon. Apart from that, he also mentions that he has seen most of the natural wonders of the world. It's amazing. He works as a tech lead at Rakuten, and his title of the speech is called Secrets of Longevity. Secrets of Longevity, Toastmaster Karthik Nag.
The World Health Organization has published a 32-page report on our aging population. It says aging population is one of the biggest challenges of our generation. So we are not helping our elders enough to age better, to live healthy or remain productive. For the past few decades, billions of dollars has been spent into research on major diseases such as cancer, Alzheimer's, heart diseases, so on and so forth. But only a fraction of it is spent in understanding aging at a deeper level. Even though every year or every decade, the average human span across the world is going up, the amount of time spent in good health is still the same or going down. So we have not realized or connected that aging, better aging can be an answer for all of this, for all the major diseases. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. Now let us look at different geographies and cultures around the world where people have managed to live longer than an average person from a developed world, right? For this, let's go to our first stop is Hunza province, Pakistan. So Hunza is the environment in which Hunza people grow up is mountainous and extremely rough terrain. So these villages are incredibly isolated, and to go from point A to point B, you have to navigate around deep bridges and steep passages. Now, coming to their diet, it's mostly plant-based and often eaten raw. That's because it's too difficult for them to access large amounts of fuel for cooking, and there are hardly any animals that are there that are there for consumption as well. So they grow whatever they can and gather the rest. So moving on to the next location, which is Okinawa, Japan. I think you'd have heard of this group of people. So these are the most well-documented and well-studied group of centenarians around the world. Ancient Chinese legends called the island of Okinawa as the land of immortals. It has to do with their cultural practice of hara hachibu, which also means that you eat until you're 80% full in your stomach. And finally, Sardinia, Italy. Now, this is an example for all the Mediterranean diet, so which includes a lot of olive oil and a lot of red wine. And so these Sardinians, they care for their elders and also keep them. Elders also help them in raising their children as a commune. Now, with all these examples, just take a step back and understand our body at a cellular level. So in our bodies, like we have two types of information at a cellular level. One is genes, another one is epigenomes. So genes are the ones that are passed down from our parents. There are about 25,000 to 30,000 of them. And epigenomes are the ones that instruct these cells on what to do and how to do. So they mark down various cells and give them functionality. So as we age, these epigenomes become demented, even though the DNA sequence remains just fine. So along with this, we also have different other symptoms like we lose stem cells, there's degenerated nutrient sensing, and inflammation problems, etc. Now, past few decades of scientific research has shed light into 50 of the genes, 50 of the longevity genes out of the whole 30,000. So they have established clear pathways on anti-aging. Now they've also interestingly connected different cultures that I've explained earlier to these pathways. They have somehow been able to tap into one of these pathways without their knowledge. For example, Hunza people, they almost live on a survival basis. Combined with their genes and locally produced available food and grains, they have successfully tapped into one of the pathways. Okinawans, they have artfully mastered the concept of calorie restriction diet, basically. And finally, Sardinians, they have found abundant amounts of salicylates and resveratrol, antioxidants, from their olive oil and red wine. So studies have also found, like many other subcultures and practices around the world, that have similar effects on anti-aging. For example, fasting and pilgrimage, which is prescribed by most of the major religions around the world as a way to connect to your spirituality. So what happens is this fasting, it triggers a mechanism called autophagy, which is basically your cells flushing out the bad cells as you fast, right? So, and yoga pranayama in our culture also have some kind of anti-inflammatory effects, so which helps in intercellular communication as we age. Finally, all this is happening because everything around us is made for us to feel too comfortable and too lazy. No? Everything from food and amenities, everything is designed to make us comfortable. So finally, just to wrap this up, let us take some of these points and now to the longevity path. So I would to highlight a few. Let's include a moderate to vigorous exercise in our regimen, and fasting definitely helps. And need to occasionally trick our bodies that we are on a survival mode, and avoid harmful sun to prevent skin damage, and finally quit smoking. So that will be it. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. He just pinned out 100% gold, my dear friends, in terms of information. So much of business going into it. Great job, Karthik. Amazing. There's also a fact that they say 120 years is the lifespan of average human, in the sense, and all death before 120 is premature. Well, one could also go into the philosophical thought line saying that more life, more years, it depends. For each his own. Let's move on to the third speaker of today's meeting, and he will be attending the project number 2 in level 2 from effective coaching pathways. And I would request the evaluator to please read out his guidelines.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose statement of the project Understanding the Leadership Style are for the member to identify his primary leadership style or styles, and for the member to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Time manager, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you. When I spoke to this speaker a few days earlier for understanding his introduction, he did tell me not to go overboard, but I had to put this on the record. Not only is he a member of the founding member of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, he's also my mentor, and it's an extremely proud moment for me to be introducing him. I was down in the bed suffering from high fever, shivers, malaise in Manipal Hospital COVID-19 ward, and one voice that kept me going, one person who always ensured that there were messages, if not calls, to keep my spirits high and fight and be able to stand here today after defeating such a dreadful pandemic that we are all looking in front of us. That is how much I respect and value him in my life. Having said this, he is a distinguished Toastmaster, and I would like to welcome him on board because his speech is titled Leadership, the Good and Bad. Leadership, the Good and Bad. Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza. Leadership and its good and bad qualities. And as far as I am concerned, personally speaking, I find you as one of the leading leaders in my life, and I've learned a lot from you. Thank you. Now, there should be a link that is shared on WhatsApp for the members, and we will vote quickly, and the code is 4444. Let me repeat, the code is 4444. I hope everyone's voted. And now let's take a break for 5 minutes, after which we'll start off with the most exciting part of the table topics. See you in a while. Thank you.
Please don't go anywhere. There are snacks of the
Is there any garlic in our beginners, they will conduct 8 sessions every session. I go through that and he will full time. They will get a chance taking short immediate not get immediate
Thing is, like, we got a call from here, like, you can get membership last year, like, in November something, we got a call. But because of Corona, we didn't come here, like, we have from some other places. Bangalore. Okay, so, right now we have to join. Like, we have only 3 months, we are joining. So, we have just 3 months here, very finally. We want to join now, is possible.
We can join each country. We are doing only for 3 months. That course will help you. It will be for 4 months. It's only started 2 weeks ago. Started 1 week back.
The features and all, the features.
Sir, anybody want? One more.
My favorite
Requesting ladies and gentlemen, kindly take their seats. Requesting ladies and gentlemen to kindly take their seats. Thank you. Robinson sir will record Robinson sir. Now it's continuing.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful talk and huge round of applause to Melvin. So far, each and every meeting I'm here. I think that's one of the reasons why I come. Now begins the most exciting part, or rather, Okay, exciting part of the meeting because you had a lot of butterflies in the stomach feeling. At least for me, as far as I'm concerned, whenever I give my name for the table topics, I get a feeling a lot of butterflies in the stomach. But only till I come to the stage. Once I come on stage, it's like downhill after that. Just a given. At least for me, that is. But I feel it is the anticipation that gets to me because many a time the table topics master gives out the topic and you're like, oh, damn, wish I had that subject. I could have, just mastered. And when you come, it's always a very dry, if not questions of it. Nevertheless, I'm hoping today's going to be different and hope for the best. The table topics master today is a Bangalorean, and he says it is a blessing to be Bangalorean.
Yes.
I would say yes, I agree with him totally. By profession, he is a consultant to manage industrial law. And welcoming those
Thank you, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. A very warm welcome to the table topic session. Actually, this is a session when a lot of members seek benediction. And for the benefit of the guests, let me give a small introduction to this session. The table topic session is designed to enable speakers to speak on their feet and try to speak now. As speakers become more experienced, they would possibly attempt to speak with the opening, the content of the speech, the body of the speech, and with an ending, all within 2 minutes. So that is what we are trained here to do. And as a table topic master today, I will give a topic and call upon a speaker to speak, who would speak for at least 1.5 minutes. Timer, please note we will have each speaker speaking for 2 minutes. So at 1.5 minutes, the timer would be showing you the green card. At 1 minute 45 seconds, he will show the amber card, and at 2 minutes, he'll show the red card. So you could possibly stop by then. So here we go with the first topic. Okay, let me start with a very easy and topic that will help everybody relax. Okay, talk about a hobby that helps you relax. I call upon Haricharan to speak. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And good evening, my dear Toastmaster. The hobby which makes me relax. There is no hobby as of such in my life where I feel relaxation. Especially in the childhood days, it is always like hobbies is nothing but everybody talks about cricket, badminton, or indoor games. So like these hobbies were going on, but in particular to my life, what is a hobby which makes us improvisation, which makes us to go ahead in our vision path. So one hobby I realized is reading books. Coming to the reading books, normally what people tell is there is a great personality here, personal secretary, sir who spoke, all the CEOs, some of the people here. So normally people tell that a CEO or a leader will in a year will almost read around 60 to 65 books. That is what I understand. So what they tell is 20 pages a day. Normally to read one page, it will only take 2 minutes. So 20 pages will normally take around 30 to 40 minutes. So sparing 30 to 40 minutes will help us to get the knowledge where people have experienced it. So we will be able to imbibe that. So what kind of relaxation I get in this is one, it makes us to leave their words, what they have experienced it, and also observe it and put it in our life path so that we achieve our goals and visions. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Share that hobby. You've given us some statistics also to think about. And the next topic is for the speaker to talk about a person whom you admire the most as he or she has faced and overcome challenging times. You are required to talk about a person whom you admire the most as he or she has faced and overcome challenging times. I call upon Toastmaster Guru Prasad.
Good evening, Toastmaster. Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. I was working for a company by the name B2Soft. I was working as a business development manager. I think probably after a year or so, another person joined by the name Siddharth Sarkar. He came with a better experience than me and joined the company, but not in the staffing background. He got having some experience in different kind of sales. He joined later on. I'm observing him. He's probably 2 years younger than me. And he had every day he used to have a fever. I was observing him why he's having a fever. Then I noticed him. He's having a romantic, some kind of arthritis, where his leg and hand have a problem. He can't even give a shake hand. And I thought, okay, fine. And he worked for some time. Eventually, we carried on, I have to move. I've joined some other company and we become close friends. And I've observed this guy. After that, he has to quit his job. At point of time, he is not having even the kids as well. Then he was managing, he was tried different medicines, went to different hospitals, then biopsy, everything, nothing was working out. Then he used to go to some Chhattisgarh where it's a life risk, he used to get some medicine. Then slowly, managing, and today, he's eventually become a managing, head for a business, head for a staffing company. I've seen him a person where he was having a challenge, not even walk, again regaining his health and managing a company. It's not a joke. And there was every day I used to meet him for a coffee before going home. I've seen the challenges, how he come across in his life, and today, probably he is a better position in the industry. I always feel that when I meet him, as Ayappa was telling in the evening, was what are the challenges we have always looks much smaller than kind of challenges what people face. When you think those, so everything for every person we can acquire something where and from there we can take it some kind of thing and go from there. Or to the
The next topic is focus on possibilities and you will have more opportunities in your life. Focus on possibilities and you will have more opportunities in your life. I call upon Mahesh Shankar. Please come.
What a wonderful topic. So it's always so
difficult when we encounter any kind of challenges. And early in my life, in my childhood, I would always consider there is a challenge means there's a failure, and that's how it all. That was the experience which I was carrying it all through. And that's when I realized, again, if I keep having those fear, if I don't count on the blessings, it's not going to work. Then I started counting on the blessing. I started looking forward for all the good things which happened to me, especially how my mother took care of me in spite of all the failures. She was still being very supportive. That confidence actually started building on my spirit. And as a child in school, I used to fail, and luckily I never got reputation in my same class. Later on, that is what actually became as a possibility for me to work through all those difficulties, and I could easily succeed, especially in my career. I never imagined at that point in time I would be a chartered accountant. So only the good blessings is what helped me what I am doing. Over there.
The next topic is nothing lasts forever, not even your troubles. Nothing lasts forever, not even your troubles. Kamlesh, can you please speak? Kamlesh.
I think having yummy snacks and is not a butterfly, it's an elephant inside my so, what is topic again?
Nothing lasts forever, not even your troubles.
So nothing lasts forever. Maybe it is a well-known fact than reality that 1 year back we are struggling hard for coming out to see each other because of pandemic, and we were not very sure where this is going to be end. But we have a belief, we have a faith that every cloud has a silver lining. And today, after almost 1 year, we are meeting together just because we have a faith and belief, and that's a belief that has made us possible that anything is possible in this world. And you can believe that. Can you believe that a vaccine which almost takes almost 5 years that could be possible in 9 months, and I think that is a belief. So everything is possible if we have a faith and belief. Thank you, Melvin.
Yes, I think we proved that there are no hiccups that can stop. Nothing lasts forever. Thank you very much. The next topic is when everything seems to be going against you. Remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. This is a quote by Henry Ford. I'll repeat it. When everything goes to be against you, seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind and not with it. I request our Toastmaster Nitin to please come over.
Good evening, Toastmasters. And yes, good evening. Yes, at times you think everything is against. Today is an example. I was finding it difficult to attend Toastmasters meeting, and of course, Melvin keeps mentioning and we meet that you're putting on weight, you're putting on weight. So I thought, let me do some exercise. So morning I got up and did some exercise and I hurt my back. I think, oh God, everything is going against me. Coming to those monsters, I was started counting my troubles. And fortunately, I got a message from Mahesh saying, if you go to Toastmasters today, I'll get my car. I was counting my blessing. It actually happened, and the topic also came rightly for me. So it happens in life. In fact, when Toastmaster Robinson was my mentor, he's still a mentor. I used to count my troubles.
Because he will make the repeat the speech 10 times, 15 times before coming here. I was thinking this is not going to end like the previous topic. It's not going to, but then I thought nothing ever lost. But when I came here and gave my speech, that was like a goal being delivered. So I thank Robinson for mentoring me for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, there could be a lot of troubles coming your way. Don't worry. Take number 2 of ideas. Take a day as it comes. Look at the possibilities and enjoy life. Thank you.
We go back home with some wise words. Thank you very much. The next topic is the person who has come as a blessing in your life and why. I repeat, the person who has come as a blessing in your life and why. I call upon Toastmaster Sumar. Please speak. Yeah.
It's not up to the mark. I feel myself covered with many thoughts, negative thoughts. So she used to motivate me. You have so much negative, but you are not the challenge. So try. Do this one in this way. So with the BTM, and I would like to get more support of you to achieve myself something better. So why is reason of
God be the blessing for her in her life. Thank you. This is a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. The true measure of a man is not how he behaves in moments of comfort and convenience, but how he stands at times of controversy and challenges. I repeat it, the true measure of a man is not how he behaves in moments of comfort and convenience, but how he stands at times of controversy and challenges. I call upon Toastmaster.
Well, Toastmaster used the gender of man. However, I like to say it includes women as well and humankind. Because every person, it's easy to behave your best when everything is going fine. But when chips are down, that's a little matters. Toastmaster, third Toastmaster, yes. A person who comes to my mind who's epitome for this particular saying is my wife. 1993, her older sister got married, and the minute her sister got married, maybe it was a year later, her parents started searching clients to get her married. And she's very particular. She wanted a boy who she could gel with. And with due respect to my in-laws, like the traditional thing in our country, don't look out for looks, don't look out for great qualifications. The horoscopes match. Just say yes. For my wife, that was only the scope was increasing.